It was supposed to be a routine flight over the Arctic. Alex, a young and ambitious photographer, was thrilled to join the mission to document the icy wilderness. Alongside them were Dr. Harper, an experienced Arctic researcher, and Mike, the skilled pilot who had flown through countless harsh conditions. The trio laughed and exchanged stories as their small plane cruised above the endless white expanse. But as they marveled at the beauty of the Arctic, trouble struck. The plane shuddered violently and alarms blared in the cockpit. "We've got engine trouble," Mike announced, his voice steady but serious. Panic filled the cabin as the plane began to descend uncontrollably. Alex gripped their camera tightly. The image of the icy fields below growing closer by the second. The crash was brutal. When Alex regained consciousness, the bitter cold was the first thing they noticed. Snow clung to their face, and the wind cut through their clothes like a blade. The wreckage of the plane was scattered across the ice, half buried in snow. Dr. Harper was already moving, her face set with determination. She pulled Alex up. "Stay with me," she said. They found Mike trapped in the wreckage, his leg injured and bleeding. Despite his pain, he insisted he could still help. "We need shelter before the cold takes us," Dr. Harper said, her voice sharp with urgency. Together they worked to scavenge what they could from the wreckage. Metal panels became a windbreak, and the small flame Alex managed to light after countless tries became their lifeline. That first night was harsh. The fire sputtered in the freezing wind, and their breaths clouded the air as they sat huddled together. Dr. Harper's knowledge kept them alive. She taught them to conserve energy, build insulation, and fight frostbite. Mike, though injured, used his military training to guide them in survival techniques. Days passed, each one a battle. They rationed the little food they had and melted snow for water. The Arctic showed no mercy. The wind howled endlessly and temperatures plummeted. The sun was barely a memory, casting only faint light during the day. One evening, Alex spotted something moving in the fog. At first they thought it was a trick of the light, but then it appeared, a massive polar bear, its white fur blending into the icy landscape. Fear gripped Alex as they whispered, "It's huge." Dr. Harper, calm but alert, motioned for them to stay still. "Don't run," she said firmly. "Hold your ground." Mike, despite his injury, lit a flare. The bright red light startled the bear, and it hesitated. For a tense moment it sniffed the air and growled, its massive form towering over them. Then, with a snarl, it turned and disappeared into the fog. The encounter left them shaken, but alive. "We need to move," Dr. Harper decided. She had studied the area and believed there was a research station several miles south. It was their only hope. The journey was brutal. The cold was relentless, and every step felt like a marathon. Alex stumbled often, their body weak from exhaustion and hunger. At one point, they collapsed into the snow, tears freezing on their cheeks. "I can't," Alex whispered, their voice breaking. Dr. Harper knelt beside them, her eyes fierce. "You can. You have to. If you stop now, you die here." Her words lit a spark in Alex. They pushed themselves to their feet, leaning on Dr. Harper for support. The group pressed on, each step harder than the last. Finally, through the swirling snow, they saw it, a faint structure on the horizon. The research station. Tears of relief filled their eyes as they stumbled toward it. Inside, the warmth was almost overwhelming. They collapsed on the floor, laughing and crying, their ordeal finally over. As they rested, Alex pulled out their camera. Despite everything, they had managed to keep it safe. They recorded a final message, their face pale but filled with quiet determination. "We came here as strangers," Alex said. "The Arctic tested us in every way, but we survived. Together." Outside, the Arctic stretched on, cold, vast, and indifferent. But For the trio, it had become a place of both survival and transformation, where they discovered the strength they never knew they had.